سڵاو برادران، ئێڕۆ لە گۆرستانی هەتێنیەمین لێرە لەم گۆرستانێکی با بڵێن بەناوبانگە لە هێلسینکی لە وڵاتی فینلەندا. بابزانین چی تێدایە ئەم گۆرستانەوە بەوابێت ینی دەرگای گۆرستانەکەیە هاتنە ژوورەوەیە کە بەسا جادەکانی چۆن خۆشە بۆ ڕێکردن، تەنانەت لە جادەکانی ناو سلێمانیش خۆشترە. بابزانین چەند جەوێکی لێیە، جەوێکی هادێ دێن لێرە خەڵک کاتێکی خۆش بەسەر دەبن، کاتێکی هادە و ئارام بەسەر دەبن لێرە بۆ ئەوەی جەوی خۆیان بگۆڕن. بابزانین لێرە چی تێدا ئەم گۆرستانە. ئەمە خەریتەی گۆرستانەکەیە لە سەرەتای گۆرستانەکە دایانناوە. ئەم خەریتەیە لێرە ئەم نەخشە بیدایەتی لێرە گۆرستانی ئیسلامیەکانە، بەشی گۆرستانی ئیسلامیەکانە، مردووی ئیسلامیەکان. اینجا پاشان لە تەنیشتەوە هی یەهودەکانە، اینجا ئەرتەدۆکسەکان، اینجا ئەمە هەمووی تا ئێرە مەسیحەکانە. ئەم بەشەی ئەخیری گۆرستانی شەڕە، مردووی شەڕ، بابڵی کوژراوی شەڕ. طبعاً لێرە نووسراوە لە نێوان زۆربەی ئەوانی کە نێژراون لێرە لە کوژراوی شەڕی نێوان 39 بۆ 45. لە پاش 45 فینلەندا هیچ شەڕێکی بەخۆ نەبینیوە، یعنی کوژراوی شەڕیان نییە، بە لەو کاتەوە مردووی تێدا نەنێژراوە. لەو دیوەوە ئەو بەشەیە گۆرستانی ئەو مردووانن کە دەسووتێنرێن، یعنی مەسەڵەن مردوو هەیە لێرە خەڵک هەیە پێشەوەی بمرێت کە کاتی دەزانێت مەسەڵەن لەسەر جێگەی نەخۆشیە یاخود شتێ یاخود وەسێتی کردووە کە لە پاش مردنی جەستەی بسووتێنرێ. فلێرە ئەو گۆرستانی ئەو خونەوە خەڵکانەیە کە جەستەکەیان دەسووتێنرێ، پاشان پاشماوەی ئەو جەستەیە هەڵدەگیرێ لە ناو ئەو گۆرستانە لێرە دەنێژرێ، ینی پاشماوەی پاش ئەوەی دەی سووتێنن جەستەکە، پاشماوەکەی دەنێژرێ لەو بەشەیە. ئێستا با بڕۆین جۆلەیەکی ناو گۆرستانەکە بکەین، بەس تەماشای ئەو دیاردێ بکە. مەسەڵەن ئەو ئافرەتە عەرەبانەکەی پێ، عەرەبانی منداڵەکەی پێ هاتۆ بۆ کات بەسەربردن لێرە و بۆ جەوگۆڕین لە ناو ئەم گۆرستانە. ئەمە گۆرستان بەو شێوەیە مەسەڵەن لێرە خزمەت دەکرێەوە. بەشان چۆن گۆرستان خراوەتە خزمەتی خەڵک، هەرچەندە خۆی گۆرستانە بەڵام سەی دار و دارسانی کە گوڵگوڵزاری کە سەر زادەکانی کە سەر ئەو خەڵکە تەنانەت دێن بۆ خوێندن لێرە قوتابیەکان لێرە دێن بە گروپ لێرە دادەنیشن خوێندن دەکەن و ئەو شتانە ینی سەعی دەکەن و کاتی و خوێندن بەسەر دەبن لێرە. با بچین جەولەیەکی ناو گۆرستانەکە بکەین بزانین چۆنە. لێرە ئەو حاویانیان داناوە ئەو بۆ خڕکردنەوەی پاشماوەی ئەو دار و گڵاو ئەو شتانەیە. ئەوەش با بڵێن سەمادە، سەماد بۆ سەماد و لمە بۆ ناشتنی ئەو گوڵ و گوڵزارانە بەکاردەهێنرێت. ئەوە شارەوانی دایناوە یاخود ئەو کۆمپانیایی کە ئەم گۆرستانانە ڕێوە دەبن بە دایناوە بۆ ئەوەی خەڵک لێی ببا گوڵ و گوڵزاری پێ بچێنێت لە سەرگۆڕەکان. یەکێکە لە خزمەت گوزارێ سەرەتایەکانی ناو گۆرستان کە خەڵک حەزەکات کە گوڵ گوڵزار بچێنێتەوە. ئەو بۆ ڕیئاویان داناوە، معدل ئاو هەیە لێرە، ئەو معدل ئاو هەیە لێرە. ئەوش مەسینەیە، مەسینە بۆ ئاودانی گوڵ گوڵزارەکانی سەر گۆڕەکە بۆ شێوە بۆ ششتنی گۆڕەکان. ئەویش حاوەی زباڵن. تەماشا ئەو ئافرەتە بەخۆی و منداڵەکەیەوە بە چەترەکەیەوە لە ژێرباران هاتۆ بۆ جۆ بەسەربردن لە ناو گۆرستانە، چکە جۆیەکی خۆشە، بەڕاستی جۆیەکی خۆشە لێرە هادێ هێ من ئارام. ئەوە دیسان ئەوە قەتعەیەکی تێ هەر لە تەنیشتەوەیە، یعنی تقریباً دەور 30 مەترێک دوورە لە ئەو قەتعەکەی تر. تەماشا ئەوە قەتعەیەکی ترە دیسان حاوییان داناوە، دیسان بۆری ئاوی لێیە سۆندەی لێیە سۆندەی ئاو ئەوش ئاوە ئەوش مەسینە ئەوش سۆندەی ئاو ئەوش عەرەبانەیە تەنانەت عەرەبانە و خاکەمال زۆر شتانی شتیدا بۆ ئەگەر خەڵک بێوێ مەسەلەن دەستکاری گۆڕەکە بکە یاخود نۆژەنی کاتەوە ئەوە عەرەبانە ئەوش ئەنواع و ئەشکال ئەدەوات تێدایە تەماشای بۆ خاوێنکردنەوەی گۆڕەکان یاخود نۆژەنکردنەوەیە یعنی ئەمە هەر 50 مەترێ ڕێ نفسی ئەدەوات و نفسی بۆری ئاو و سۆندە و حاوی زباڵە و ئەو شتانیان داناوە بەو شێوەیە گۆرستانەکە بەڕێوە دەبرێت. So, hi Onerva.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Well, nowadays we had some what can I call it? So there was some exceptional subject in social media, and people are talking about it, especially in Kurdish region, in Kurdistan, in Iraq. So there's an if you have heard about Suleymaniya.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So in Suleymaniya we have graveyards are run by some companies which are belonging to some party in the government. So they put some let's say what's called some fees to bury the dead bodies in the graveyards. So people are not allowed to do it themselves, usually like going back to the previous or to the past. So people were burying their dead bodies by themselves, and they were not giving them to anybody else, to the companies or government to do it. They were doing it themselves. But nowadays it seems that they are or they became as a opportunity to trade, to collect money.
Business,
yeah, business. And unfortunately this kind of business, so they are always collapsed by the parties who are governing the country. So briefly, can you please tell us, well, in the beginning I saw the graveyard.
Yes,
So it was really amazing area, and it was like full service, and
Yeah, well, this is the old part. Yes.
it is the
Old part from 1800.
1800s,
Yeah.
this graveyard.
Started.
Okay.
Yes, there's the new part also.
Okay, so can you tell us what's the procedure of burying the dead bodies in Finland?
Okay.
In general,
well,
yeah.
Shortly. Okay. So, well, let's say that the person dies in the hospital.
Yeah,
So the hospital keeps the body until the funeral service. We have also like business funeral service. They come to collect the body and take it to the place where they dress it up and put it in the coffin, or him or her in the coffin, and then they transport it to the cemetery like this, where there's
Okay.
a chapel, and they take it to the chapel, and this of course costs, and depending on what kind of coffin and whatever you want to have. So I think the cheapest is around 600 euros.
okay, the cheapest is 600 euros.
Yes.
Okay.
And
yeah.
then in the chapel in the cemetery you will have the service, and the priest will do the part,
Yeah,
and
some
and,
speech and
yes,
religious speech and stuff.
Yes, that
Yeah,
kind of.
that's common also in our country. Okay, so 600 euros, like comparing to our fees, in let's say comparing to this company fees in Suleymaniya, is a bit like it's a lot.
Well, 200 in Kurdistan compared to 600 here. Well, it sounds quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot. So, but what about if I mean first, who is required to pay that fee?
Well, it is the
Like the family, the
No,
dead body.
the dead person himself. It should come from his money or assets, but
What?
it should be like from the dead person's belongings and property.
Yeah, it's from himself.
Yeah.
Okay, not from the family's
No.
property, not from the sons or
No, no.
daughters or the
They are not-
wife's property.
They are
or-
not obligated. To
Okay,
pay
they are
for
not
it.
obligated. Yeah, so they can do it voluntary, but
Of
they are
course.
not obligated to do it. Okay, so if the person doesn't have anything, so
Well,
really
if
poor and died, didn't leave anything after him.
Yeah, so if you are very poor, so then your wife or your family member, so they can go to the social office.
If they don't will to pay for it,
Yeah, if
so
they
then
don't
they
want
go
or
to-
they
yeah.
can't pay for it, for
Yeah.
example, so they go to the social office and they apply for a subsidy for burying the person.
Yeah.
It is not possible that somebody is not buried. That's not
so they
possible.
should bury it in the right
the-
time also.
Yeah, the government will take care of it one way or another.
Okay, so you have social office, and even if the wife or the children they have money or they are rich, but they don't will to pay.
Yeah, well, if they want the cheapest possible
So then if
funeral,
they-
so then
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, cheapest
Yeah.
one, and they don't will to pay. So they go to the social office and they apply for their father or
Yeah.
or her husband, for example,
yes.
and social office will pay the cheapest price for
Yeah.
the funeral.
Yes, the
so
cheapest funeral.
they pay it social.
Yes.
Let's say government will pay it.
Yes, government.
Okay, so what about if we don't have social office in the
Well,
country?
then it's difficult for the social office to pay if it doesn't exist.
So
Well, you don't have any governmental. You mean that the government doesn't take care even of the dead?
no, because somebody should pay for, because this
Yeah,
it
okay.
is like private company, so they want those fees. So
Yeah, okay, private company, but anyway, the government should then pay to the
but
private company.
government will say that the children should pay or the wife should pay.
Well, yeah, in a way, yes, but if there is no money for real, there is no.
Yeah.
So how is it? You leave the body to the street then, or what do you do?
Well, nowadays I think for hours and hours they left one body in the ambulance in the street and nobody buried that body till the social media and the media channels talked about it, and they, like, people started like in social media protesting against this situation, and then government just wanted to calm them down and they buried that body. Can you tell us about how they take care of it and how they put the services here? And I see sometimes people with the children, even with the babies in the strollers, and they
Yeah,
are
people
just
come.
walking here.
Yes, people
and-
come here to enjoy the calm atmosphere
Yeah.
and nice plants, and they are all kept by the churches.
Okay.
So that's why the church collects money from the members. So that's how they keep it up.
They collect those money, so they really put it in the
Yes,
services,
yes,
and they
yes.
yeah,
I don't know. I think that sounds somehow so
fishy.
yeah, very unprincipled and
Yeah.
disrespectful to
Yeah.
make business out of death.
Yeah, well, it is like that.
Of course, yeah. Well, people are horrible, but
Yeah.
well, I hope it doesn't go to that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for
no
giving
problem.
us your time and being with us on this, well, shall I call it trip or journey? Because I feel that I'm in picnic, not in just. It's a
Yeah,
very
well,
nice
don't
view.
start
and,
grilling here.
Yeah,
but otherwise,
no
okay.
grilling here. Okay, so one more question.
Okay.
Maybe it is a bit jockey question.
Okay.
So, do the dead people here need electricity 24 hours per day?
Well, I don't think anyone has required
You mean
such a service.
they don't watch satellite and they don't play Xbox, for example?
I find it difficult to believe.
But in Sulaimania they need electricity. So that company is giving electricity 24 hours per day to the graveyard, because the dead people, I think they are like watching some football matches or
Oh, yeah, you must be joking. For real.
For real, it is like that.
No.
Okay. Okay. So, anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so this is the area for presidents and other politicians and statesmen, so to speak.
You mean that, like, prime ministers and
Yeah, for
presidents,
example.
something like that?
Yes, and some important, like nationally important.
You mean
people.
your president, Finnish president, doesn't have, or they don't have usually own graveyards and some
No, they-
fancy place, some fancy grave?
Well, this one that is in the picture, so it is one of our
Fancy grave.
Well, I don't know if it's fancy. I'm not too keen on it myself, but this president
But
was
this-
one of the biggest presidents we had.
Yeah.
He was the most famous one. He was in power for the longest, and he was a little bit loony already in the end.
Okay. But he is the president of Finland.
Yes.
Okay. So, born September 1900, died August, well, almost September, August 19.
Yeah, he was almost
86.
86. And I think it was 80 that he was still president. Or
Yeah,
yeah, because
president.
my brother was born 1980 and Urho Kekkonen was still the president. So 6 years before he died.
Do you want to? Well, I will show you the grave of Iraqi president Jalal Talabani, and
Yes.
you will see how is.
Well, there's another one. There's another one, the latest.
I will not. I don't want to
latest
talk about
president.
it, but you will compare yourself.
Okay, well, this is the latest president who died,
Uh-huh.
and I find this tomb to be very stylish. I like it. I like the gold.
So he has just this
veins
grave,
of the-
nothing
Yes,
else in
this-
this graveyard.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? He's buried in one place, not in several places.
Okay, so it doesn't need to build villa on top of this
No, we don't.
grave.
We don't feel like it. This is already a big monument
Okay.
for a person to have,
Yeah.
and it's nice. But this is nice one. I
Yeah.
have to say.
You said that he was president.
Yes, he was the well. There's 1, 2. There's now Niinistö. Before that there was that Tarja Halonen, and he was before that
Okay.
Koivisto.
Yeah.
I have seen him. I've been in the same what was it? Same lunch restaurant with him
Uh-huh. Okay.
and Tarja Halonen.
Yeah. So some
He's also
Politician.
Tanner was also a politician,
politician. Okay.
famous in his time.
Yeah.
He is some kind of general.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously was in the war because he has died in 1960, so he was that age.
Uh-huh.